Hello and welcome to our Gold Learning viewers. I'm Fiona Lang-Sharp, IBCLC Director of Communications and MC for Gold Learning. Well, I have the pleasure of sitting down with Aisha Hajjar today, and she is going to be speaking at our upcoming Gold Perinatal Online Conference, which begins on October 2nd, so you can check that out on our website. Aisha is going to be talking about providing culturally sensitive care. Welcome, Aisha. It's lovely to have you here today.
Thanks so much, Fiona. It's great to be here.
And I have to mention that I did have the pleasure of meeting you this year, which was just lovely at such a great conference that we were at face to face. So it's always good to, of course, meet our speakers and our delegates face to face when I'm out on the road. So thank you for dropping by the booth and saying hello.
Oh, it was so good to see you.
Yeah, it was really fun, to make those connections because we live in this big wide world of online education. But of course, we love seeing our guests and delegates as well. Okay, so let's, since I've already been introduced to you, but we'd love to introduce you to our delegates who are listening in today. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, Aisha, and perhaps tell them a little bit about what you do on a day-to-day basis right now.
Okay, great. Thanks so much. Well, as she said, I'm Aisha Hajjar. I just completed my Master's of Science in Midwifery, and I also have my Bachelor's of Science in Midwifery from Midwives College of Utah. I'm a licensed midwife in the state of Utah and the state of Delaware and in Saudi Arabia, and I'm a certified professional midwife from the North American Registry of Midwives. And I also am an author and trainer of Amani Birth, which is a doula and training program specifically for the Islamic community. So that's a little bit about what I do. Basically travel globally teaching doulas and childbirth educators, and then work locally as a midwife and sometimes a doula and childbirth educator myself.
Oh, that's incredible. So you're fairly busy because I know now you're between the two countries and that must take a fair amount of your time. Do you travel with your family as well, Aisha, or are you just by yourself?
I usually have my husband with me, and then my children, it's hit and miss. Sometimes I have them with me, sometimes I don't. Depends on where I'm going. But our favorite countries are Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, Egypt, Jordan, UAE, Bahrain, Saudi, of course,
Yeah.
um, America, UK, Canada. Those are countries that we frequent, and we
Lovely.
really, really love going all of those places and just sharing the love about how great birth can be.
Oh, that's just beautiful. And I'm trying to visualize all those countries really quickly in my head. And of course, you have the globe right in front of us right now. So that's awesome.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into this topic a little bit. Now, you and I had a chance just to briefly talk about it today already offline, but perhaps you'd like to tell us again or tell our audience why this topic is important to you and perhaps when you first sensed this was something that you were going to talk about.
Well, I grew up as your typical American, Caucasian, little girl, normal American kid. And as I got a little bit older, I ended up converting to Islam. And so I went from a very kind of privileged sense of self and community into more of a marginalized group and realized the differences in the way that you're treated when you are not from whatever country you're in or whatever community you're in, when you're not in the majority, how care is different and how you are treated differently. And so experiencing that myself and realizing that I didn't realize that there were differences when I wasn't part of a marginalized group made me really want to bring that to the forefront because it does change the way that people perceive you, and it does change the way that you are treated in terms of everything from care to social services to interactions with any kind of community organization or government organization. So I think it's important for us to kind of take a step back and question ourselves, like where are we culturally, and then how are we treating other people who may not be of the same cultural groups that we are.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you were speaking there, I was just thinking the same thing. This, for me, this type of talk is about evaluating myself,
Right,
because I always think I'm doing a great job. I mean, and that's the ego part of, which is a normal part of, being a woman, a white privileged woman in
right.
Canada. But absolutely, it for me, I value this. This is important to me. I want to know where I'm at. This is a good check-in. I feel like I don't know a lot, and now being able to listen to you, Aisha, is going to be really important to me because I know that you started in one place and now that you're in a different place now in your life. So this will be, for me, I'm excited to hear more about it and again, do that self-evaluation. So thank you for bringing this. I mean, it's, we talked a little bit about sometimes, do people want to listen to this? Is it important? Well, I think if you look around your neighborhoods, if you look around the world and see what's happening, then I think it is absolutely, it's imperative, I feel, that we need to be talking about this.
Yeah, unless you live in a cave, you're crossing cultural
Totally.
bounds. So
Absolutely.
everybody, in every location,
Absolutely.
this is really
Yeah,
important.
totally, totally. Yeah, so this will be fantastic. All right, well, let's talk a little bit about your actual presentation now. Of course, don't give everything away. We just want to hear little snippets, although, of course, I want to hear the whole thing now, but we've got time for that later on in October. So tell me, what are you most excited about sharing with the audience or sort of having them, come to terms with, develop insight? What is it that you really are excited about sharing?
I think really what I want people to be able to do is recognize that, your identities come from so many different places and your identity changes. You're not the same person at work as you are in your local neighborhood as you are in your family living room. So I think just understanding that how complex the identity system is and how complex it is for each one of us and how, as care providers, when we work with people, just recognizing that individuality of every person, I think, is what it really boils down to.
Yeah, absolutely. And I, again, just absorbing some of your words there, it reminds me again just to sit back. It's that real sense of I need to listen. I need to be quiet and I need to listen. So I'm looking forward to this by far. Thank you so much, Aisha, again for bringing it to gold and for being here today. It's been lovely chatting with you.
Well, it's my blessing. Thanks so much, Fiona. I really appreciate it.
And just a reminder to our listening audience right now, Aisha Hajjar will be with us here Monday, the 23rd of October. So you can mark that on your calendars now. Go to our website if you want to know the times, because of course, being in different time zones, we want to check that out, and you'll find that in the delegates dashboard. If you haven't even looked at the conference yet, please do. It's coming up really soon. Still lots of time to register, of course. Keynote presentation coming up October 2nd is when it starts. And if you can't come to the live events, of course, you'll be able to listen to the recordings as well. You can check it out at goldperinatal.com. Well, thank you again, everyone, for joining us today. Fiona Lang-Sharp here. Bye-bye for now.